Obviously, the 1978 target of universal compulsory free education was not met, because we see it again in the 1992 policy to make primary education compulsory and free for all, and within 10 years, so now we are going into 2002, within 10 years, 100% children to be admitted in schools in the primary grades. So we again see a resurfacing of compulsory universal primary education. Policy after policy, it is recommended, but something needs to be done. Simply putting it on paper is not going to get you 100% primary education. It just will not. You have to work towards achieving that target. At least 2 rooms and 5 teachers should be a primary school. So now, for the first time, we see the government in a policy define what a primary school should be like. 2 rooms and 5 teachers, which means with 2 rooms you have multiple levels in a classroom and more than one teacher in a classroom at one time. Not the best way to teach, but if we wanted to achieve that 100% literacy target, we will have to do something drastic as that. Not the best way, not the most convenient way, not even the most efficient way to teach, but 2 rooms and 5 teachers was the mandate for a primary school. With the passage of time, primary education be converted into basic education, which means that primary education from grades 1 to 5 should be considered basic education. That means when we say all children should have basic education, we mean primary education, grades 1 through 5. Make that known, because remember, in a previous policy, they had recommended to take this up to class 8. It obviously wasn't working, and this policy recommends to bring it back down to class 5. Women teachers should be appointed in the primary schools gradually to replace male teachers. The focus that, young children in primary schools look more towards the female as mothers and so would be more prone to learn from them, although with not enough females coming out wanting to be teachers in schools, especially in remote and far out areas, male teachers were hired. This policy recommends over time gradually to replace all the male teachers with female teachers in the primary grades. There should be age relaxation for teachers of primary schools. In other words, if a person is old for whatever reason, or the person is too young, if you need a female teacher, make relaxation in the age. Don't say you need somebody that's 20 plus. After all, a student in class 1 is 6 years old, roughly, and so an 18-year-old could teach, a 16-year-old could teach, because by 16 years, hopefully you've done your matric. The purpose for doing this was to change over and replace the male teachers with female teachers in primary schools. The privately managed primary schools should be encouraged to check the business-like attitude, strict rules be framed. Again, although we saw that in 72 institutions were nationalized, it obviously didn't work. Private schools resurfaced, and again, they were minting money or making profits for themselves, charging high fees. And this policy recommends to check the private schools to see that they are not really overcharging, that they're charging enough in line to make it possible for parents to pay, and not make private schools into elite private schools. Private schools should also be charging fees at a level where somebody from a middle class, with some sacrifices that parents are willing to do, can also receive a good quality education.